It's Mike McManus here. Just want to, go over a little bit of things with you guys now with the running. Now, I trained every single day for 15 years straight, on, how to get fast and what makes me faster. And I studied, what Usain Bolt did with his training, running with plates behind you, tying around something, around your waist, running with plates, doing a lot of hip flexor exercises, a lot of core workouts, leg lifts, scissors, these ones too when you put your legs in and out, those workouts too when you're laying on your back. A lot of working out, curling and just having the upper body strength. So when I move through the wind, I just push my way through. So it's like you got to have a lot of upper body strength, a lot of leg strength. I did a bunch, and I'm not saying like a bunch, but like a bunch for no reason. I'm saying I did a bunch of calf raises and leg pressing, stuff like that, because excuse me, I had to make my legs strong as fuck. So when I, hit the concrete, they're able to hit the concrete and they're able to shove through the air as fast as they can, so I could achieve the speeds that I achieved. It was not easy to achieve, the 8 second, 100 meters that I achieved. It was not an easy task, because Usain Bolt, you saw how hard it was for him to achieve 9.58 in the 100 meters. You know what I mean? So, I always thought, if he could do something like that, why can't I do something faster? You know what I mean? Because he already proved what was possible then. And that was back, 2009 in Beijing, right? Some shit like that. We're now in 2021. When I ran the 8 second 100 meters, that was back in 2020. So that was like, I forgot how many years later, you know. So yeah, it was about 9 to 12 years later, that now, and a lot of stuff has changed from back when 2009, was here. Just a lot of stuff has changed. Gravity changed, the earth changed, everything, the temperatures, everything changed. And one thing I always thought above science. If science says that something cannot be done, I thought above that. I thought, maybe they're just saying stuff just like that just because they don't know. Or just because it's just never been done before. Or they just don't, I always thought above science, no matter what they say. Because now, look, now, this day and age, came in I think they said it in 2018, 2019, run one of them 2 years, they said now humans could possibly run a top speed of 40 miles an hour. Okay, that was a new thing, apparently now that science said that we could run 40 miles an hour. Which will probably be somebody eventually, years down the road. It probably happen eventually. Because look at me. When I ran the 8.72 second 100 meter, I clocked a speed of like 32 to 35 miles an hour. Top speed when I topped out. And I accelerated there like it was nothing. And I just attained that speed through the whole 100 meter, the whole race. I attained that speed for the whole race. I did not lose breath. I did not slow down at all. I just kept accelerating, you know. And that's because I had 15 years every single day of practice, and racing, my friends, and just we used to run every single day, all day long until it was time to go to sleep. That's how much I trained, and they trained too. Eventually they just stopped training because, not everyone sticks to it like I do. They all want to go and smoke weed and do what they want to do. Not that it's bad, smoking weed, but I'm just saying, people who do that don't want to run anymore. So yeah, so then I trained, all them years and that's how I was able to get, to how fast I was and, where I'm at now. You know, um, but I could tell you what though, you not training for a good, let's see, a good 6 months or just a week will make you lose speed. You know, I noticed that with myself. Maybe other people are different, but when I did not train for a week or something like that, I lost a lot of speeds in it, and I had to train every single day for like 2 more weeks, you know, and I just kept it up from there, and I just gained a lot more speed. You know, so it's all about your training, your hip flexors, making your hip flexors strong, your abs, just basically your whole body. Just your whole body's got to be muscular. You got to be fit. You got to be strong, you know, and you got to weigh, you know, for how, you know, however, how heavy you are with your height or how tall you are, you got to weigh, excuse me, a certain type of weight. You know, you got to weigh somewhere. If you're like 6'1", you have to weigh a buck 71 to a buck 80, you know, to attain speeds like that. You know what I mean? If you're 6'1", you got to be a healthy weight. Me right now, personally, I'm not weighing at a healthy weight. You know, I'm not, you know, because I got into a middle of something and I stopped training for a good 6 months. So I have not, you know, started my training again like I was, but I am gonna get back into it. But I am 208 pounds right now, and but it just shows you how 6 months of not fully practicing gets you much slower than what you were. You know what I mean? Like I can't, I could barely run as fast as I was, you know, last year. You know what I mean? But it just shows you how when certain things happen and you stop training, how much speed you lose. You don't realize or you don't think that you're gonna lose all that speed, but you do. And you know what the hardest thing to do is? To gain it back. That's the hardest thing to do when you lose speed is to gain the speed back. I swear to you, it's the hardest freaking thing. Because you gotta put your dedication, you gotta put your mind, your whole body, you gotta keep training. You gotta get more into your training like you were, you know, and that's what you have to do for 6 months worth of stopping. You know, it's not good. It's not good. If you want to become a world record holder or you just want to make a world record just to prove something, you know, that could be done, you got to put full dedication into it. Like Usain Bolt even said himself, yeah, he made the world record. To me, that was just pure, you know, luck and just, you know, the training he was doing. But I could tell you, Usain Bolt is a legend. You know, he's a real legend. He did very good. You know, he made a world record. But he himself even said that he did not train every day. He trained like when he would train like 3 days a week or something like that, you know, or 3 days or 3 weeks before the meet, he would start training again. Me, I trained non-stop every day, all day long until I went to sleep, you know, to make the records and to be able to make the records that I did, you know. And you also got to remember where Usain Bolt runs in his territory is on an actual track. Me, I'm running on hard concrete, you know, my body has to get more training than what he needs because I'm running on concrete and dirt. So the concrete is way harder, you know, to start training on to get used to than running on grass or on a track. You know what I mean? Concrete is so hard when you're running those speeds, you have no idea. You know, so me, my territory is on streets. You know, I was able to beat anybody on the street, you know, when I made my world record on concrete. And that's the hardest place. The hardest place to make a world record is on concrete, guys. And I could tell you the only way that I could officially say that you will beat my record is if you beat it on concrete. You know, you got to be able to beat 8.72 seconds, something like that, you know, on concrete, you know, in order to beat my record, you know. Yeah, I'll be very, very happy if you beat my record, you know, in Usain Bolt's territory. But I would still say, you know, you got to try doing it on concrete too. Which I could tell you, there will always be someone faster. You know, eventually, you know, my record will go to, it'll go to, you know, shit. And there would always be someone faster with another record. And me, I would have to train even harder, train for more, and I would have to beat his record, and we'll both be going back and forth for records. You know what I mean? Just like Usain Bolt and other people, they were always trying to beat his record, but no one succeeded. But yeah, but me, what other people, people trying to beat my record now is probably going to be something that they're going to wind up trying to do eventually. And I know it's going to happen. I know I'm not going to be the champion forever. I know I'm not going to have this record forever, but it just feels good to be, like Usain Bolt and have a record, that I know no one is beating, you know, anytime soon, at least I think. But we'll see. Every year as we go on, years and years go on. People are getting faster. Gravity's, getting to be different. Speeds of athletes keep going up and up and up. The acceleration times are getting faster. Because I also held the fastest 40-yard dash record. Not too many people, have seen my channel or actually are familiar with it because it's just posted this year. I ran a 40-yard dash time of 3.58 seconds. And, science thought that was impossible too, including my 100-meter record, they thought was impossible, but I proved to them that nothing that comes to running is impossible. You're always going to get faster in gravity and the earth is changing. So everything is changing. So things are improving, with athletes now, and they're being able to become faster and faster and faster, because I proved that you could possibly run a 3.58 seconds, 40-yard dash time. The fastest 40-yard dash time that I ever seen before my record, and that's what made me think, oh, that's possible, is Walter Dix. Walter Dix is his record was a 3.73 or 3.75, somewhere around that area. The record kept going down and down because first it started off with John Ross's 4.22, and then we got down to, I forgot what this other kid did. He did like a 4.15 or 4.18. I forgot his name though. He was another kid that, did it, with other people. And then that went down in history. And then Christian Coleman wanted up doing a 4.18, and it dropped to a 4.12. I meant to say he did a 4.12, Christian Coleman. So it dropped down. And then Walter Dix proved himself. He's another track athlete. He ran it in 3.75. I believe it was 3.75. We saw in that video. And then when I saw that, I'm like, okay, it just keeps getting faster and faster. All right, let's go for this record. It keeps getting faster and faster. So then 2-3 years later, I come out with a record and I did 3.58. So it was very, very, very hard to beat, but I put all my force, all my dedication, and all my training into that, my acceleration. Now, I'm older now. I'm like freaking 20 years old. Now I could barely even I could still run fast. I still accelerate, but nowhere near as much when I was, running and stuff. But I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to hopefully break my own world records. That's what I'm aiming for, is to break my own records. But yeah, whenever you guys can, please like and subscribe. I just wanted, to get you guys an update on how I was able to do this, and just know it just took dedication and a lot of years, and just being just dedicated, to everything, just working out all day long, running all day long until I go to sleep. It's a very hard thing to do. Love you guys. Peace. Please like and subscribe. Damn, I could barely speak. Bye, guys.